And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylics.
Yes, but are they turned on?
Okay, when somebody says, when the mic guy, sound guy goes, the mics are hot, that means they're on.
Oh.
Hey, Ginger!
Are we on?
Oh, I'm afraid so now. I mean, they're like getting back to the scenes, getting behind the scenes activity.
Okay, well, listen, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us for our Tuesday Night Live of acrylic painting thing. Whatever we're doing here, we're going to paint something. I think it's probably going to be flowers because that seems to be the major vote that we get from people. So we're going to do another one of these old dead guys' flowers. And
same dead guy as last night,
yeah,
right?
he had a pile of them. I figured we just going to knock them out, right? So, and what I liked about this particular one that we're doing with the poppies is his vase is kind of boring, but his background's very interesting. A lot of different ways you could do a background. You could maybe do a sponge, but he doesn't have just a plain background. So we're going to play around with it tonight with a couple of different ways you might do a background. In other words, we don't have to be slaves to exactly what he did, but we can be inspired by that. And, what can you learn from an artist like this? Well, we could learn that just a plain old, paper-colored dull background is not anywhere near as interesting as when you jazz it up a bit. Okay, so we're going to do that, and as we follow along, we may paint. We're going to do a painting that at the same time I'm going to do a little small one like this, a little 6x8 one. This is the background for it, and that'll be another 10-minute video, and someone at the end of our broadcast will win it, assuming we still have internet, and then our internet feed seems to be kind of light tonight. So whatever.
Pay attention, get everything you can, because it died during our test run in the first 15 minutes. So
let's get one. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I thank our moderators, and the voice you hear over there is John Little. He's the one that's running the camera, answering questions, and there's Sammy. Sammy's our mascot, and he's also helping too. Sammy and John have their own tech channel and answer tech questions on it if you ever have time to film anything. We're always so busy filming for this one, but the intention's good.
Yeah, the intention's there. So
what I've got here, John, would you be so kind while asking down here? I've just got an orange canvas, but you could have a brown one. Really, what you want to do is just when you're through with your paint for the day, just paint a canvas some color. Right? This has been sprayed on the back, so it's got a nice thing to it. Here's an example of one that's brown. Doesn't really matter. We're going to try some different colors. Well, paints don't last forever. It's just not like the honey that they found in the pyramids that was like 8,000 years old and still edible. Paints don't last forever. They last a long time, but we're going to try to use up some paint. This is called unbleached titanium. If you didn't happen to have any, you could maybe use a white and a little raw umber, maybe a tiny bit of yellow oxide. You're making kind of a parchment color. It doesn't have to exactly match. None of that's all that important. But what we're going to do is we'll start with a fairly large brush.
Hey, we'd like to thank Lori for the donation right off the bat as soon as we get fired up.
Oh gosh, Lori, that is so nice. And we really appreciate this. This goes towards paint and scholarship funds, and you can only donate during the live shows. Once this has been in a recorded situation, you can always go to our website and and we have a website. Well, tell them about that, John. Why I'm firing this up.
Firing that up. Are we doing pottery now? See,
yeah.
That goes back to my pottery days. I had to fire up the kiln.
Well, I just got the brush wet. I'm firing it up. I'm enthusiastic. I've got this is a number 12, a Bristol-on silver brush. It's a bright brush, and I'm going to just take a little bit of this unbleached titanium. My brush is damp, and I'm not trying to cover up all the orange background. Do you see that? I'm leaving some of it. I'm not trying to cover up the whole thing. I'm just leaving some of it like this. And I'm not sure how we're going to do the background, but this is such a simple painting. We should be able to knock this out in seconds. Really, literally. This is a really simple painting tonight. You're going to get this easily. Though it's pretty, and if you were to do it larger, we do small things so you get the idea of how to do them. It doesn't take us that long to do them, and it doesn't waste a lot of paint for you. When you do something small, do it small first. And then if you're all inspired, go get a big canvas and try it bigger. Okay? That's what I recommend. So we've got some, it's not quite white. Here's white, you see. Here, see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to mention that. Okay, so that's with a little bit of an orange background. Okay, and while I'm fooling around with that, I'll take this one, move this out of the way, and I'm going to do that too. I'm going to get the background done on this too. Now this is the same kind of paint over, say, something dark brown. What if you had some dark brown background you wanted to do? Okay, so we're just, right now we're just kind of helter-skelter. Do you like that? Helter-skelter, we're putting on some paint. Maybe you just are in a mood to do this. You ever been in a mood to just do this, just scribble away, go, ah!
Oh yeah, it comes to me usually after the lessons with the leftover paint.
Well, you do it, but you're doing it very neatly, and this is release, man. This is therapeutic release. You know, there's a reason why they have art therapists, and art is a form of therapy. And one reason is because when you're doing art, it's hard to think about anything else. All right, so you don't have much. I know nobody's wildly impressed with either one of these. That's okay. I don't mind. I forgive you. How's that? So now I think what I'd like is a gray color. So I'm going to start with ultramarine blue. Okay. And cad red medium. I'll just put that out here like that. I'll do a cad red medium. And white. And we're going to make a gray color. How's that? Where's the cad red here? Yeah, okay. All right, and then it's going to be mostly white. So here's the white paint. Yeah, okay, mostly white. And I'll show you how we're going to do some sort of gray color. Let's see, I've got to fix that white too, so I'm full with that. Let's get one that's actually open. That's purple. Let's try for going for white. Third time's the charm, right?
AJ would like to know what is the exact difference between soft body and heavy body acrylics. Now, the exact difference.
Well, heavy body acrylics are thick. They're like
toothpaste.
Toothpaste, exactly, like really. Toothpaste. And soft body acrylics usually flow like cream. Now, the flow acrylics from Matisse, the problem I had with them, and I don't mind telling you this, a personal problem I had with them is that their flow was not consistent. Sometimes you'd open a cap and do like what I just did, and half the tube would just dump out like you were pouring milk out of a glass on your palette, and other times I was squeezing it out like it wasn't, like it was heavy body. I mean, for me, I just never found the consistency. So I sort of switched for if the reason you might want a flow or soft body, the reason you might want that is because it kind of has the same pigment, just kind of flows along. So Golden makes this in two sizes, and they call this their, whatever this is. What are they calling it these days? Titanium white fluid acrylics, which I quite like. And this, like I say, the soft bodies are much more fluid. So that's the exact difference.
And we have found Golden to be very consistent.
Yeah, they are, and so we like that. So I'm going to take mostly white paint here, like this, and I add a little bit of ultramarine blue to it. Going to mix this. Can everybody see the palette here?
Yes, they can.
And I'm going to grab a little bit of this red and put in there. And you're talking about probably, mostly about 98% white, and then you're a little tiny bit of red, like less than 1%, a little tiny bit of red and an ultramarine blue. And we're going to try a little bit of this titanium in there, tiny bit of that. Now we've got this sort of interesting gray color. I do this unbleached titanium because do you see what a soft gray I've got? It really made a soft gray, the tiny bit of, because red and yellow basically make kind of a purple when you add just the tiniest bit of yellow into it. I mean, red and blue make purple, and cad red medium has yellow in it, but this unbleached titanium certainly does too. So this gives us this really soft gray color. So it's fun to learn how to mix colors, right? And get all these fun colors. I mean, people feel like they've got to buy everything. It's nice to buy everything. We're not against buying everything. But conversely, it's kind of nice not having to buy everything either. So one thing we might do is we'll take some, I think we put some paper towels over here. Let's show you something. We've got these, and I'm going to just sort of wad this paper towel up like this. Can you see it? Right, like that. And I'm going to dip it in here like this, and I'm going to just tap now on top of this other stuff. See? Tap, 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 and maybe twist. Tap and twist.
Tap and twist.
See, like that. And I'm going to make sort of an interesting textured background. It's not your normal background. It's sometimes we do a lot of different ways to get a background. I'm not trying to make this solid now, please, please. Not trying to make this solid, but there's our gray. Now,
Cynthia would like to know, can we use gray directly from a tube?
Oh, sure. Sure, why not? You know, it will be a little duller. It won't be as warm. It's a very warm gray. You know, there's warm and cool grays. I know these things, and now look, here goes the unbleached titanium right on top of it. See? Look at that.
So you're doing kind of like a mottled effect.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of a mottled effect on the background. And it's all wet. So I'm just tapping it here. The paper towel is dry. It's not wet. So now I'm just sort of picking it up like this. If I got too much of one color, I can come back with some gray. Okay, like that. So there's my background on that one.
If you want a bigger reference file or a bigger image, I can only go so big on the screen, otherwise it blocks Ginger. Go to our website, gingercooklive.gallery. Right on the home page, you can find the link and download a PDF in black and white, invert black and white, and color for your viewing pleasure.
Okay, so there you go if you want to see a picture. Now here it is against the orange. A little different, isn't it? A little bit of gray against the orange. Okay. Just tap. You could use a sponge. I would say one of those sea sponges are kind of cool. That would make a nice effect. But, you know, paper towels, everybody pretty much probably has them. You know, I'm old enough to know when they came out with paper towels. How's that, right? I remember when paper towels, and then they started talking about ones that absorb stuff and ones that didn't. It was such a concept. What do you mean? You've got some that will actually pick something up if you spill. You don't need the whole roll. But we used dish rags in our house and sponges. We were not big paper towel people for years. My parents were older. They came from the, you know, kind of the Depression generation, and they weren't big on that. All right, so there's my background. Now I'm going to come back with the unbleached titanium again, and I'm going to just add some of that on here like that.
Now we're doing this on an 8x10 canvas.
Yes, 8x10 canvas, and then what we have to do is really dry it well, because we've got this. I don't want it too thick, but still want to dry it well. But that's a very interesting look, I think. I think that's very interesting. You know, whatever you put underneath it, you could experiment. What if you had purple as a background, or brown, or, you know, I mean, you just start to get some little canvases like this. You see how, you can see the difference. The brown changed it, didn't it? But, as opposed to the orange background. So it's just subtle little stuff like that makes a difference. Now, what if we took a little bit of cad red medium and did this, and then took the rest of our white, and we made this sort of peach color. Just want to play with this a little bit. And I'm going to come on here like this and add a little of this peach color, because I see some of that in his picture. Believe it or not, I can see some of this peach color in his picture. Now what I've done is I've just sort of warmed it up a bit. There. Okay. Interesting. I like that peach color. That's kind of cool, isn't it? This is all very soft and subtle. And then what happens to this? It goes in the trash. There you go. Now, what I want to do now is dry this. I'm going to take a palette knife and just scrape my canvas palette paper clean. All right, and just scrape all that off. And what can I do with that? Oh, well, it's gone. I'll put it on a piece of paper towel and just, there you go. Picked up, gone. All right, so I'm going to kind of clean that off. All right, so while I'm drying that, and if you haven't subscribed to this nifty channel, boy, you're missing out. Because if you hit that little gear button down there and you subscribe, then when we go live, you find out. And you get to, you know, we've got great stuff on here. I got to tell you, I don't mind telling you. We got great stuff. So
we got wonderful stuff.
And you're going to learn something every time. You'll learn more if you're a member of our academy, and that which comes Art Academy, which comes with personal art coaching. But we don't, we want you to have the full Monty of experiences. Okay, so I'm going
to full what?
Monty of experiences.
Okay. On that note, we'll silence you. Okay, well, she's quieted down there for a moment. I'd like to remind everybody, we do have some lessons that are available for download. If you go to our download website, gingercookondemand.com, you have an opportunity. You can purchase this. This is our Winter Village set. We have, I think there are 20 some odd lessons over there now. We're going to be adding more as time permits, and I've got a bunch more that are ready to go up there. I just got to get time to put them all up there. So again, that is gingercookondemand.com for downloadable lessons that you can play on your iPad, and you purchase them and you own them forever. If you are a member, don't forget to ask for your discount before you purchase. If you purchase before your discount, we'll consider the extra a donation. You're back live, ma'am.
Okay, so here's we did a little printout of this so that would just a little black and white printout. And just for the expediency, I would freehand this in, but just for the expediency of the fact that we never know, the internet is a mystery, we never know it's going to hang in there for us. I'm thinking probably not yellow. The Cognac is now thinking blue. Yeah, blue probably. We're going to go for blue, you guys. Going to go for blue, and you're going blue what? Well, this is Sorel paper. There is a link on our website to this through Amazon. We appreciate if you use it, only because it's not like, there's, at some point, I've never actually seen it, but they tell me at some point if people follow the link on Amazon, apparently they kick back like 3 cents or something. It's not a big deal, but also it's convenient for you to find it. We like this stuff. You see me, and you can use it over and over again.
Yes, we like this stuff.
Well, we like this. We do. And, apparently I can write them and ask them for this paper. Cinnamon said I could do that. But the problem with that is that then I'd be obligated.
You'd be beholden.
Beholden, yeah.
Now, don't go too low on it because he's very close to the bottom. I just noticed he's
yeah, he is, too. I'm going to come up about here.
Yeah, I'd go up higher.
I think just up a little bit higher here. Yeah, for sure. Because you want a little bit of room. He just really practically fell off the planet with this, didn't he? I'm going to tape it at this end and slip the paper in from above. Clever, right?
Oh, that's very clever. Very sneaky of you.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, this is just artist tape, in case anybody's wondering. In goes the bright side down. And look, see, we've used this a whole bunch of times, but you can keep using it. Isn't that great? So in it goes. And then what you want is a pen. I cleaned up. This whole area is all cleaned up. I don't know if you guys can tell it. See my...
well, no. Should I back out some so they can see what you did? Well, let's take a look.
Look at that. I cleaned up.
Let's see what you actually did.
I cleaned up tonight. I just got so tired of scrambling around in the debris looking for stuff, right? Don't you love that?
That's not bad.
Let's put the brush in water, by the way.
All things considered.
Yeah, all things considered.
I mean, we've been shooting like crazy lately.
Yeah, we've been filming. We've been filming all day, you guys, all day long. All right, so now I want to make sure I have this straight up and down because otherwise the vase will be crooked, which wouldn't do at all, would it?
It would not. But now, couldn't you straighten it up after the fact?
Well, I could, but why should I have to if I could just straighten it up now,
well, just in case somebody did. They might want to know.
Well, yeah, of course you can. You can redraw anything. It could be painted, or I could have free-sketched. I could have free-handed it in. Could have done any number of things.
Here's a question for you. Is the paper towel painted background as smooth as a brush painted background? Is there any texture?
No, it's textured.
Yeah.
It's slightly textured, for sure. Let me move this this way so I can see if this is lined up on the edge.
That big palette knife you were using, that was a Jerry's, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much. I tell you what, Jerry's has, they have a very good price on their palette knives, and I like them because you can leave them in water and they're still happy. Where some palette knives, if you leave them in water, which of course you shouldn't do, but I mean, just suppose you did, like mostly I do, then they rust, and this is all very disturbing, and particularly if you paid $14 or $15 for one. So Jerry's is just okay. Gosh, this still looks... Well, that's because his silly vase is out of whack. Well, okay, we're fixing it. You can copy his vase exactly, but I'm telling you what, his vase is out of whack. I can see it here, and it's annoying me.
So we're already gingerizing this one right out of the
Well,
chute.
it's just, you know, there's no reason for it. You know, I mean, how, just, I just wanted to kind of get the poppies, the big ones. These are sort of, these remind me of Mary Miko poppies. Do you guys remember her? She was back in the 70s, 60s, late 60s, really. She was I think she was a Swedish designer, maybe Danish, Swedish, I can't remember, but she used to be in some of the stores, and she had these big pieces of fabric, giant poppies, and people would stretch it and put it on the walls, these prints of fabric. Mary Miko, and these kind of remind me of her poppies. Of course, she may have seen this artist. He's been dead for a while. She may have seen, these Europeans, she very well may have seen this style of flower and decided she liked it. Now look, do you think we need to go all out here? I don't think so. If you guys can't, I might just do a few things like that just so I know how far out I want to go. But honestly, really, huh? That ought to be good enough. All right, so you can't see anything because I've got a paper there. See, can you kind of see that? All right, so there's our, we're going to say there's our poppies. Here's our paper, which is going to be dutifully put back into the Sorel thing with the 5 different colors.
And the sock folders of America appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, I cleaned up, so now I'm feeling inspired for about 10 seconds, you know.
I'll take advantage of it.
All right, so now let's put out while we're chatting, let's put out the rest of the colors that we're going to want. We want phthalo blue, which is if you're using Liquitex, that would be the green shade, okay? Liquitex is one of the few companies that, you know, does a red and a blue shade of these blues. Everybody else just kind of does phthalo blue. I guess they do a turquoise phthalo with golden or something. Do a little purple. I don't know that we're going to need it, but so don't put a lot out. Tiny bit of purple, but we're going to have it. I'm all for that.
Marty says, I really like the old dead guy that does the winter scenes. Can we do another of his? Which old dead guy was that one?
Well, I think that was the one we did with cinnamon, you know? Little burnt umber. Well, and then we did those ones with the that oval one was so pretty. That old scene with the stuff. I wasn't sure. You know, yeah, we can do some of those.
Marty, you might tell us which painting you want to, you know, which series, because there's about three or four of the guys we use.
All right, do you see how easily this is? We're just talking to you, not paying any attention, moving the burnt umber thing. Okay, here we go. Just burnt umber.
That burnt sienna over there was pretty dark.
There you go. This is the burnt sienna. You like it? Awesome.
And that's why we label.
Well, I think labeling doesn't hurt. You know, there's no particular, you know, look, I try to put my stuff back in the same place all the time, not because I care, but because if I was painting by myself, I wouldn't bother, but because when you're watching these videos, you kind of see where they are in the palette. You go, oh yeah, she must have put yellow there. She did it a bunch of times. Probably should be yellow when things get mixed up. But, of course, sock folders probably would put, you know, decide on a palette and do the warm colors and the cool colors and do all that stuff, you know. But basically, you're just sort of not getting that with me. That's okay. Now, you can see we need a little more white like this. And
thank you, Miss Brooke, for the donation. She says, hey, guys, glad you're fixing the vase.
Well, it kind of bothered me. Didn't it bother you? Because, look, let's just take a second here with the chalkboard, right? I mean, any fool can draw a vase if you just draw a letter. I mean, just you can draw a box, you can draw a vase. So they're really, at this point, okay, so I've got a box here like this, or maybe a little rectangle. It's not quite square, but it's a box of some kind, right? Okay, so I'm going to say here's half the box, like that, okay? Was that half? Maybe not. Well, measure, okay? And just pretend it was half, okay? This is half, okay? So whatever you do on one side, you want to do on the other. Make sense? So if you want a round vase, you might figure out where half is here, and then whatever you do on one side, do the same thing. You're going to curve it here. Maybe you're going to stop it here, so you're going to curve it around here. Same thing here. You know, duplicate the corners, see? And then here's the mark here, okay? And then just a little scoop like that, and voila, you've got a vase. Now, if you wanted to be the last of the big spenders, you could, you know, put a base on it. If you wanted it taller, you could do, well, what if you wanted it taller? Well, then you could add some base, okay? I mean, this isn't tricky. Okay, it just isn't tricky. Just so, you know, I mean, you really didn't need a traceable for this picture, honestly. And you may have a different size canvas. You might like it. This vase looks like it ate something over there. It kind of bothers me. All right, so we're going to paint the vase in. Speaking of vases that look like they ate something, we're going to start with a ruby satin silver brush. This is a brand new one. This is a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to start with white. And I want a little bit of phthalo blue. And I want a tiny bit of yellow. And a little more phthalo blue. And a tiny bit of ultramarine blue now. Okay, ooh, that's pretty. More white. And maybe a dash of red to tone that back. All right, so we're going to say, here's our vase. Okay, and I'm going to just paint that in, because that's sort of a pretty blue, isn't it? He did have a nice sense of colors with his pictures. I like this artist really well, because I thought he had a nice, really nice section of colors that he did. And let's see, that's a little dry, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little tiny bit of water right there on the tip of the brush to release some of the paint. Angle brushes are good because they allow you to do sharp edges like this. Okay, and let's just bring this down here a little bit. Okay, there you go. There's our vase. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of dazzling purple and ultramarine blue, and using the same tip, he kind of outlined his. I'm not sure why he outlined it, but he sort of did. We're just kind of doing what he did. You know, you could not do it or do it.
We have a question here. What does Ginger think of the Craft Smart paints, or, you know, the little craft paints instead of the heavy bodies?
You know, they have their place. And generally speaking, when you're talking about canvas art, we're using, we're not using those, you know, but it you know, it just depends what you're trying to do with them. You know, a lot of times people think that they save money using them. You'd have to just see. You will not get the texture. They'll be dry very, very flat. You won't get the texture. You see I've added a little bit of green to this now. I'm adding a little shadow on this side.
And we've also found it takes 2 or 3 coats to get the coverage. Yeah,
it does. You know, so the problem is with the basics and some of these others, people may think, do a little white here now, people may think they're saving money, and it might seem that way. And you'll see, like, you know, there's toll painters do that, you know, and they do, like, you know, like suppose that you had a, like a music box, wood music box, and you wanted to put some flowers on it. You got a nice pattern and you traced it on, and you wanted it very, very flat. Those would probably be perfect for that. Just depends on what you want to do with it. I'd still use if I was going to do any of that, I'd be using the golden fluids, not those. Okay, so there's my vase a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit of white and do a little bit of white highlight here like that. Just barely touch it like that. There we go. And then just sort of bring it down. Ooh, like that. There you go. Ooh, perfect. Got to blend that in. All right, so there's this vase. Now, this little brush is going in water. We'll start with a smaller one.
Sandy would like to know if you ever used the gouache paint on canvas.
Yeah, we did. We painted. On the cruise, we did the last cruise, a little red with that little dark green color. On the last cruise, we definitely did. We got these little canvases and some 8x10s, and we painted on it. Works fine. I'll tell you what it is with the gouache, which is interesting. Okay, and here's what I would tell you about that. The colors are really, really very, very intense. All right, really, really intense colors. And so what that means to you is that they take very little paint, and they're really nice. They're pricier than normal acrylics. You know, ounce per ounce, they're expensive. But they do have some really, really bright colors in them. So I like them, and they're lovely to travel with. See, when I'm coming out here, I'm just doing little leaves coming up here like that. Okay, just coming over here and kind of around my flowers. And then over here on this side, I don't know what he's got over here. Let me just blow that up so I can kind of see it. Oh, he's got purple. This man really had fun with this. He's got a little bit of burnt sienna in here. That's interesting. I think I probably should clean my brush for that. I just, sometimes it helps to blow things up. You can kind of see what people are doing. It's got some sort of burnt sienna and maybe a little bit of that light color. It's got some sort of little burnt sienna flower over here. I don't know why you'd want a burnt sienna flower, but he's got one, so we'll go for it, right? It's probably what happened to him is he was painting this, one of the flowers died, don't you suppose? I don't know. That would be me. You know, it's like, you know, you watch some of these arrangements and you wonder if they just ate some of the fruit. You know, when they were painting, they got hungry and said, no one will miss the apple, right? Let's eat this.
Jeanette would like to say, Ginger, can you please do some more paintings in the gouache?
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of new releases. John and I are going to be gone over Thanksgiving for a couple of weeks, and so we're releasing gouache on YouTube. We've got a bunch of gouache of videos that we've shot on other cruises. Really cool painting classes that we're releasing.
With any luck at all?
Yeah, and that's going to be featuring the gouache. Because I really liked it, and I tried a bunch of stuff. I quite like it. Again, it's ideal for travel. I can't say enough about how ideal it is for travel.
And can you mix that with regular acrylics?
You kind of can. You know, I mean, you could do a layer and dry it. I don't know. You know, you can do a layer and dry it for sure. See these little lighter green bits in there? You for sure can do that. You know, as far as the rest of it goes, I don't know. Maybe. I know I'm not trying to be vague on you guys, but, you know, I don't know. I guess the person, you know, here's a little purple. You know, I don't know, but I think you can. I was doing it with some of it. Okay, so here's a little purple going next to this poppy. He had some interesting purple in here. I'm not sure what the deal is with the purple, but he has a little bit of purple in here. Dot, dot, dot. It's almost like Morse code with these little flowers because there's not a lot to it. Now, if you were doing this larger, it would be different. Okay, so then what? What do we got going here? Well, we've got some poppy colors, so let's start with this first poppy up here like that. Make sure your brush is clean because you've been in green. We're going to come up here with our first poppy. Might take a minute to dry it, but I think we're okay. All right, at least we're going to get the shape in here. I think the shape is interesting. Looks like a hat, doesn't it, at this point? You see a hat? Anybody else see a hat? I see a hat. Okay, here's a little poppy. We're going to just put that in. We have to dry it anyway. And
that
yes?
Antique white?
Yes. It's not really antique white. It's called unbleached titanium. That's why I crossed it out and put unbleached titanium. It's not antique white. So that's really unbleached
titanium. It's not, yeah.
It's unbleached titanium, but you know, but you just want an off white is what you want. You can make it, or you can, you know, buy it. This is some of the red with a little bit more yellow in it. Okay. We want to come out here. I don't think here's this poppy right here. We'll put this one in. There we go. We're going to say, here's this poppy. Put it in like that. This definitely needs a small brush. Then we had a big one here, which I didn't draw in, but you know what? I know how to draw a poppy. It's like his poppies are really like windmills. You know those ones that used to sit there and spin and blow on, you know what I'm talking about? When they would spin around. Kind of reminds me of that shape. Okay, so there's this poppy here, and it's fairly large. Again, if you trace it on, then you don't have to guess how big it is. There you go. We're saying there's a fairly nice big one there. And as long as we're just happily into this. But, you know, paints are, the thing is that the problem with traveling with acrylics, you know, the big tubes, they're all heavy and stuff. And I like the gouache because for for ease of traveling, they're just the best. Okay, just absolutely the best.
Cheryl would like to know, Ginger, are there any tips on how to train your brain not to clone trees and stuff?
Yeah, first off, and let me tell people what cloning is. When you learn handwriting in school, you know, you made a letter A, and you were probably about 5 or 6. You learned handwriting and a B and so forth, and your brain, you know, the handwriting analysis people can tell a lot about you because your handwriting stays the same. All right, your handwriting over the years just stays the same. You know, you get adult handwriting. So what happens is that when your brain doesn't know the difference between a tree and the letter A. So that when you were, you know, 6 or 7 and you got all clever and learned how to make the letter A, and you made a tree. So when you go to paint a tree now, and it goes, I got it, we remember trees, and it makes the same tree you made when you were 5 or 6. And then maybe somebody pointed out when you were little that this was a tree that needed help. And so then maybe you learned to make a different pine tree. Maybe you learned, you kind of overcame it. Now your brain, it says tree, I got it, it's going to make that, because that's the new letter for tree. Okay, that's the new letter. So what you've got is, so now you're an adult, and there's 100 different kinds of pine trees, maybe 1,000, and maybe you've even mastered 1 or 2, but those are the ones you're going to keep making, because your brain will automatically start writing that tree for you. So then all you have to do is just be aware that you're doing it. Everybody, for instance, it's helpful if you're trying to do bricks to make the same brick over and over again, but not so helpful if you're trying to do something else. All right, does that make sense? So anyway, to answer your question, just be aware that you've got to look for it, because if you're sitting down just chewing and talking to people and, you know, having a cup of coffee and painting and just having a good time, you might look down and discover that that's what you've done. It's just made the same shape over and over again. It's just, everybody does it. I can show you all kinds of old dead artists that were not aware that they were doing it and did it a lot. Maybe clouds particularly, where they were very guilty of. Everything else was perfect. The hands, everything was perfect, and then wow, then they did this these clouds, and they were all the same. All right, so what I want to do now, you can see where I've kind of just laid in some flowers, right?
Did you do anything with that top center guy? It's outlined.
This one? This one?
All the way top, straight up. There's just an outline of it.
Is there? Oh yeah, look at that. There's one. I have to put my glasses on. This blue is so light I didn't see it. Thanks. I did not see it.
I thought you were avoiding them.
No, I just didn't see it. I got to put my glasses back on because for whatever reason, we're not picking up the blue here. And the vision is not saying, oh, that's blue. Let's do that. Okay, I think I've got, here's this one. Okay, and let's see, that's another little one right here. Oh no, I did something else with that. Okay, so here's one here. Here's one here. And then there's some tiny ones too, which we'll put back. But now, you see what happened when I went over the wet green? Do you see how this just disappeared? This is what you don't want to do. You do not want to paint over red over wet green. It is just going to disappear on you. All right, I'm going to just scrape it out. All right, and I'll dry the green and then I'll put it back, because it's going to be really dull. You know, red and green are complements, and so what you end up with mud. People say, how do you keep from having muddy colors? Well, one of the ways you keep from having muddy colors is
dry between complements.
Yeah, dry between complements. And I don't remember what a complement is, you say. Well, then you have a color wheel, and anything that's opposite itself on a color wheel is a complement. Purple and yellow, turquoise and orange, that kind of thing. Red and green. So you don't even have to memorize it. Just get your color wheel out, and it'll tell you. All right, we're going to dry this real quick, John. Would you like to mute this dryer before you have a heart attack over there like you did last night? Hmm?
Thank you, I will.
Good. Are we muted?
You are. All right, while she's drying that off, if you have not joined our new Facebook group, we have a Ginger Cook Acrylic Painting Club. It is a private group. You have to ask permission and answer 3 questions to get in. It is a private group that we hope, and we're not having any problems. We're going to keep it a safe haven. There'll be no misbehavior. Sammy will get anybody and chase them out of there. So the gals, I think, the mods will put up the link to the Ginger Cook Facebook private group.
The Ginger Cook Acrylic Art Club. Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Ginger Cook Acrylic Art Club, and we did that for everybody, so that, you know, everybody loves to talk and stuff, and that one of the reasons these lives are successful is, besides my smiling face, is that it's fun to get together and chat with other people and you know, talk about a hobby that you deeply care about. And that's what the Ginger Cook Acrylic Art Club is about, is to, you know, have that, facilitate that, show us your artwork. We'll show you ours if you show us yours, that kind of thing, whatever.
Oh my, we're going back to childhood, aren't we?
All right, now I want to make a lighter orange here, so I'm going to come up here to this part of this right here, and I'm going to say that this, using just this little part of the petal there is, let's see, let's put a little more cad red with it, maybe a little bit of yellow. We're going to lighten this orange up a little bit here, maybe more like that. Okay, make sure it's mixed. Wipe the brush off. There, there we go. Now, there's that, and then this one is like partially, this is almost a salmon color. And the same thing here. I'm going to put that over here too on one of these petals.
I was gonna say, that looks like dinner.
Yeah, we had salmon for dinner tonight. Just going to look like dinner. Okay, and then we dried the green, and we have right next to, we have these two. We've got one here that I didn't put in, and we've got a little one right next to this, a little salmon one. Okay, and it'll go over the dried green. Should go, it's very light, so let's put a little more light color with it. Here we go, here's this little one right here. Touching that one. And then I've got another one, pretty bright red one. Now here's where we're going to change reds. We're going to get out something called Matisse. If you just have red, that's fine. This is Matisse Scarlet Deep. And this is Scarlet Deep, and it's a number 7 color.
Ooh, that's an expensive one.
And it is really bright red, and I'm going to show you the difference between what happens when you use this. Now look here. Look at this paint. Now look at the difference in the reds. Can you see it?
Wow, yeah, you can.
You know? Now someone would say, now I don't know if your gouache would do this too, because the pigments are huge. You know, bright. Okay, so do you see the difference on that? How bright that is? And the same thing over here. You almost need
sunglasses.
It's very, very bright, right like that. There's about 3 in here that are really, really bright. And one of them is one of these ones here, and then there's another one right like that. There's a couple of these real bright ones, and then over here...
Is there anything they can do to just brighten up their natural reds, or...?
Well, one thing you can do is, no, red is a primary color. So you either own it or you don't. You see what I'm saying? So this was cad red medium is a yellow red. Okay, it's a yellow red, and Lizard crimson, naphtha crimson is your primary red. It's the red on your color wheel. Okay, here's this little flower here. I'm going to change the shape because I don't get it. Whatever he was doing, there's that little red flower. And then part of this flower had a little bit of this red in it. Look at that. Look at what a difference that makes. Part of this flower did. And red is also one of those colors that that you want to do a couple of coats on, all right, too. So that's another reason for that. Now we're going to come up here and brighten this one up now, over that next to there, okay? Let's just come over here. Now we're going to use some cad red. Pure cad red, and we're just going to come back on top of this, coat number 2 on these, and that's a bright color. Same thing here. These are nice bright colors of flowers. Now he's doing kind of half a poppy thing. They're pretty though. These are happy little poppies, aren't they? You like that, happy little poppies?
Happy little poppies, absolutely.
I think that they're very happy little poppies, and I think that they're kind of pretty that way. So, those are some, reds. Now, for instance, this is your just regular primary red. I want you to see the 3 reds. If flowers are something you can paint right out of the tube, okay? So
is that the nap?
That is your naphtha crimson, okay?
Okay.
Now, we don't use that very much on the show, but I want you to see what happens. That's a deeper, darker red, okay? So maybe on this one, I want it a little bit darker. Say it's a darker red. Maybe on this one down here, I want it a little bit deeper. Maybe right here on this one. How about here? So we're talking subtle stuff here, but it can be, it can be effective when you use these kind of lights and darks. Now, if you want a peach color, you're talking about white and yellow and red, okay? And that's your peach color. You put a little yellow in that, and there's a kind of a peach-orange color. See that? And let's put a little of this color in there too. All right, so almost a salmon. So that's what he's got here, is this sort of salmon color, which we're going to do another coat of. All right, now you can see can you see the difference? Even close up. And then over here too, we're going to brighten up our salmon color with some, there you go. And then how about over here? There was a little bit on this edge. A little bit here. I think there was a little bit there. And then there's another little tiny flower right here, which we didn't put yet, but, it's not that tricky. We'll just, there you go. Top part's darker red, bottom part's salmon. Okay, a little bit of flower right there.
Lynn has made a comment. Am I a sock folder because not going to the edges of the flowers drives me nuts? I would have to say yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, I happen to have my dice handy.
Oh, do you?
I'm shaking it up.
All right, so we're going to do a little trivia game while we're doing this. And I'm going to start adding some, before you get too far gone into that.
Which happens often.
I want to say I'm going to be adding some white flowers in here next, okay, into our mix. But kind of watch along because, if we're doing a little brown, we'll put a little purple in it. Here's the top of this poppy here. Go ahead, John. I want you to
okay, we rolled a 1, which is a who. Among the painters, which is a pointillist? Okay, among these painters, which is a pointillist?
Which painters is those?
Paul Signac, S-I-G-N-A-C, Nicholas Poisson, P-O-U-S-S-I-N.
Poisson?
Poisson, well, there you go. Or Henry Rosnou, a.k.a. La D-O-U-A-N-I-E-R.
You're making, talking about sock folders when you're making people crazy with that because all the people. No, I'm just saying all the people that speak all these languages and they hear you butcher.
Oh, I know. They murder me.
Tell that man to learn how to say the words.
That's why I don't like playing this game. I can't say these words. I can barely speak English.
So let's get our.
I need a pointillist. Define what's a pointillist. That's a guy that's a real sock folder.
Well, pointillists were after Impressionism, and what they did was they took little tiny dots like pixels before there were pixels, and they discovered that when you put colors together, your eyes mixed them on the canvas. So you could have a, green and a blue and a yellow, and it would suddenly, when your eyes looked at it, it would look green.
It's really no different than your pixelation of your screens.
No.
It's the same concept.
Exactly. Same concept exactly. Got a little edge that's folded over here, like on this one.
Patty's asking who Sammy is. Sammy, introduce yourself. Hello, everyone. Okay, going in, we have got Nikki. That would be the second guy.
Well,
Signac.
I can think of one pointillist. I don't know if you mentioned him or not, because if you're saying
these are the 3 I gave you.
Well.
So if you didn't hear his name, I guess I didn't mention it, did I?
Well, maybe you didn't say it right. Maybe.
That could be.
Here's a thought. Maybe you didn't say it right, because I'm thinking of Surratt was a pointillist. You got anything that sounds like that?
No.
Huh. Well, what
I do not. But some people are guessing Surratt.
But you don't
Surratt
have
was not a choice.
Well, then I don't know. He's my pointillist. He's my go-to guy for pointillism.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know who the other people. I have no clue who the other people are. None.
I think you should mispronounce things on purpose. I don't have to do it on purpose. They just come out that way.
Spell them out for people then, John. You got to appreciate the people that English is their second language, and then they...
I appreciate anybody that can speak English properly and do it. I have no problem. And those that can speak 2 languages?
Oh, it's impressive, isn't it?
Oh,
so
very.
You're going to...
Say the names again. Okay, you asked for it. Just the last name. Signac. What would you say? Signac?
Surratt.
No, it's S-I-G-N-A-C.
Signac. Does it say what country he's from? It would help.
No, it's not giving me the history. This is on a little, 3x5 card? Not even that. A 2x3 card?
Okay, all right. So there's that guy, yeah. What else?
And then Poisson. P-O-U... Poisson. Poussin. And then the AKA La Donier. D-O-U-A-N-I-E-R.
Well, I-E-R is pronounced Donier, right? I-E-R is A. I know that's kind of weird.
Oh, Karen used to do that to me. This is this and this is it. I go, yeah, but what about all the exceptions? He goes, well, it doesn't apply. And I go, well, why'd they tell me the exceptions and why have me memorize those in school? See, they screwed me up in school. That's what it is. I should have been homeschooled.
You think so? You think so?
I don't think we did that back in that day.
Huh? You were just a social butterfly. That was your problem. So, anybody know the answers to these? Because curious minds want to know, you guys. I'm kind of
Poison. Hey,
I'm kind of varying between the little bits of white I'm putting on here.
So, who do you think it is, Miss Ginger?
I give up. I have no clue.
Not come. You have a choice. You have a 50. You have a 33% chance of being correct.
It's the second guy.
Well, you're wrong. See how simple that was?
Apparently so. Apparently I'm feeling very simple today. No question about it.
Let me back out a little bit. You're moving around on me. I'm playing the game. All right. It is the first gentleman. Huh. It's all your mother's fault. Yeah, probably. Whatever. Signac. Paul, S-I-G-N-A-C. So if you guess that, you get 1,000 points. If you didn't...
Join the group with the rest of us and feeling slightly stupid
because everybody guessed the Surratt guy, which everybody knows that one. I guess that's why they left him off. Maybe I should try another one. See if I can find one I can read.
Well, that'd be a first. You might be there all night. You sure you want to go there? That could be. We don't. How much video do we have left?
This is silly. Here's a gimme.
How much video do we have left, John? Really?
Well, we could be on 24 hours a day as long as the feed goes. That's what we ought to do as a marathon. And auction off the pieces as you're painting them.
Hey,
and how long can you do that? Hey, speaking of auctions, do you know, Ginger, we have an auction going on right now?
Yeah, we have a really cool auction going on, you guys. Really good. And we have an auction site. And we've made it where it's possible to, make payments on them. We put them, here's the thing. When you buy an artwork from an art gallery, and here's how it works. The gallery gets anywhere between 40 to 75%. And people say, oh, that's just too much. I'd never pay anybody that much. But, they've got to sit there with the help and and their expensive rents. And maybe their rent's $20,000 a month if they're in a good area. And so now you're sitting there. So they want to, obviously, sell their artwork, right? And they want to be compensated for it. So now you didn't know this gallery, so you have an art agent, and they got you in the gallery. And they were the ones that were banging on doors and were facing all the rejection you were not up for, okay? So that agent finally got you in this nifty gallery that's getting the 60 to 70%. And then, so you have a painting, you have a couple of paintings, and they sold for $20,000, right? And then the gallery got half of that. And then the agent got, her half or his half of the money. So probably you're getting a fourth of that, and you had some shipping involved, some costs in shipping and getting there, and then you had to, depending on it, if the gallery was nice enough to fly you out for the art show, that's great. Most of them will, but that's there was your time away from painting. So anyway, it's sold, right? But and generally speaking, galleries are not fond of taking artwork from people who are selling their stuff on the internet, because they spend all this money for ads, and they don't find that friendly. Okay, they're spending a lot of money. So, but on the other hand, the internet wasn't what it was a few years ago. The internet was nothing. Now it's an nifty place to find homes for art. But as an artist, as a working artist, what John and I decided that was a fair thing to do was to, when we put our paintings up on an auction, we do it at way below wholesale price for it, but below the agent's price, and then if it gets bid up, that's great. There's still great values, and people can, here's a little green leaf here. Get some great deals, and if you like, the artwork, that's really a nice thing to do. So anyway, there you have the explanation for why we're doing.
And what's the address of the website, you ask?
I give up. What is it?
GingerCookAuctions.com.
So that's the auction, and if you're not sure where it is, you can also get a link from our website.
Yep.
He's got a couple.
Everything's linked all over the place.
I like this. It's almost like they're crying, isn't it? Then he's got some of these little green ones out here. Did you see me put these little white ones out kind of here? They're almost disappearing into the stuff.
All right, we're going to do another Who question.
Okay.
What was Rubens' first name? Is that how you say it?
Rubens, yes.
Okay.
What was Rubens' first name?
Pierre Paul, Jean-Pierre, Paul Henry.
Now you see, they didn't give you some easy ones like this.
That's easy.
His name wasn't Farouk or something, right?
Well, no,
they didn't give me one of those, right?
No, it's not Farouk.
I don't know.
What paintbrush are you using right now, Ginger?
Right this minute, these are one of these.
Which I hope they're looking at the same thing we're looking at.
This is a little tiny, bright, small brush. They're very tiny, and came in this little nail set.
Put it over like 20, to the right.
20 brushes. See that?
Yeah.
Came with all these little tiny brushes. And what did you pay for this, John?
$3.
$3.
Right from China.
Right from China.
Right from China.
And it's, very nice for the little tiny stuff, right?
It's amazing. All right. So what was Rubens' first name? Pierre Paul, Jean-Pierre, Paul Henry. I have a Paul Henry, Paul Henry, Paul Henry, Paul Henry, Peter Paul.
Well, I heard of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
I don't think that counts. Sorry.
Okay, and John Henry
was
Paul, the train guy. Remember that?
Pee-wee.
There's a song about John Henry, the train guy.
That's true. I remember that.
What was his deal with the train? I don't remember. But there was a
either.
Train guy.
Peter
All right,
Paul.
There's some real dark in here, you guys. Right in here next to these white flowers. It's almost
Peter
purple.
Paul's not even a choice, guys. Minus 1,000 for you guys that are saying Peter Paul.
Wow, boy, he gets
Hey,
vicious
wait a minute.
with
Chrissy, happy birthday to your grandmother.
Chrissy, happy birthday to your grandmother. Wow, okay. Isn't this fun how all these little flowers are going in here, you guys? Come on, you know it is, right? This is great, okay?
It is great.
Let's take some, it is sort of fun. Here's a couple of little brown ones. I guess these are the ones that didn't make it in the arrangement. When the time you got around to painting them, these ones were dead.
Jean-Pierre?
I think his name was Paul. How's that? Something Paul.
Well, you have, okay, that eliminates one of them. So you have a choice of two.
Yeah, Paul what?
You have Pierre Paul or Paul Henry?
Pierre Paul. Sounds good to me.
You would name your child Pierre Paul Rubens?
Well, a lot of times kids got named back in the day because you had to throw in a Catholic name by one of the saints. Then you had grandparents on both sides. Remember, it's not your family, but it's also the in-laws, right? So any number of reasons why you could have had some strange names. How's that? That sounds good, right?
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's not a matter of what you would name it, just but I named my daughter Cinnamon. And my mother was so angry about it that she called her Cynthia for years and wouldn't call her Cinnamon. And not only that, but sent her a check every Christmas with Cynthia on the check. And Cinnamon, when she got older, wouldn't cash them because she didn't know a Cynthia. Of course, they were only $10. So, you know, she just sent us $10 every year for Christmas. She'd take the whole... I don't begrudge. It's not the $10, but you have to understand this is a person that would tell me they couldn't afford it, and then they'd take the whole, you know, the whole caroling choir out to dinner. You know, just the tune of a couple of grand with all the stuff. You know, it's fine however you want to spend your money, but, you know, and just don't send it anything for Christmas. But, you know, for years my mother sent me cheese. I'm getting off on a subject now. She sent me cheese. And, I mean...
Cheese?
Cheese, and I, you know, like Figgy's cheese, you know.
Figgy's cheese?
Yeah, that, you know, Figgy's.
Oh, so we had Hickory Farms.
Maybe it was Hickory Farms.
Oh, yeah. Figgy's cheese is identical to Hickory Farms. Hickory Farms.
But you got it out of a catalog, and that was the one food I didn't eat. And, you know, if your own mother doesn't know what you don't eat, I mean, I haven't eaten cheese. I never ate cheese. I mean, it was the family joke, right? We're going to warm up some of these.
We used to get cheese. When Hickory Farms was in the mall, you used to go down and get a gift box or two.
Yeah, I know, but it was just, you know, so, well, she would send that, and because we didn't eat it, so finally one year I got really brave, and I said, you know, as long as you're just opening a catalog anyway, would you consider going to the cookie section?
That's my kind of gal.
I mean, but you know how brave I had to be? Because, you know, if you just disparage the gift, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You couldn't be disparaging the gift. No disparaging the gift. A little bit of, there you go. I'm putting
what kind of present is cheese? Cheese is a great present.
Well, not in my world.
Oh, it was.
You thought so?
We had all the cheeses. We loved cheeses. We were cheese people.
Apparently. Well, that's cheesy. We weren't cheese people. Well, I mean, Cinnamon likes cheese, but, you know, Mom doesn't like it. So there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't either.
So I need some...
Oh, there is a Figgy's. Figgy's is in Wisconsin.
Well, then there was a Figgy's. I remember Figgy's. Thank you.
I thought it was a pudding.
No. All right. So now we've got one of these long, skinny brushes.
Hey.
What?
Question. What was his first name?
Of who?
Reuben. Your daughter. Let's go for that. Was it Cynthia? I'm getting confused now. I'm sure it was Cynthia.
I'm having a senior moment. Say it again. Do you what now?
Oh, you must be from Texas. Do you want that?
Do you what now? Do you what now?
What was Reuben's first name? Pierre Paul or Paul Henry?
Pierre Paul.
Pierre Paul's the answer. If you said Pierre Paul, give yourself 1,000 points. Everybody else? Nothing. A goose egg.
A goose egg?
A goose egg. Remember
you ever seen a goose egg?
You got a goose egg. Anybody have any questions?
No.
Oh, yeah, the beef sticks. Remember the beef sticks? See, people understand Hickory Farms.
Yeah, the beef sticks. I'm sorry, they still sell, they're still, if I knew that you liked Hickory Farms, John, they still sell those in the mall.
Do they really?
They do, honey. If you really want some Hickory Farms,
man.
I bet somebody would send you some.
Smoky Gouda. Can't beat Smoky Gouda. Or there's a smoky cheddar brick. Oh, have that with some oysters and some...
you know, for someone who has all these speeches about bottom feeders, but suddenly oysters are okay... I'm just saying.
Well, they're not on the bottom.
Oh, really? What level are they?
About 3 stories up. Hey, how are we doing on our painting?
I'm telling you what, I'm using one of these little tiny... These are very nice if you have to do really thin lines. Okay, I'm making mine a little bit darker than his because I actually would like to see the stems. But isn't that cool? You just barely touch it and you're going... Here's a, you know, you can kind of connect the poppies to something, right?
Well, it's impressionism. You're not doing realism, so you're giving the idea. The brain fills in the blanks, right?
Yeah, and you can just add a few little odd ones here and there. This is kind of pretty, isn't it? Kind of reminds me of a card you might send to somebody and say, get well. I don't know.
Is that the kind of flowers these are leading to be?
Doesn't this remind you of kind of a Hallmark get well card?
It kind of does.
Kind of does to me. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those. You know, and when
they
you're
do
sick,
seem a little sad.
But when you're sick, there's nothing wrong with getting a good get well card. I think that's lovely. Okay. However, I'm gonna put a little dot here on the vase. Maybe this is a.
Ooh, Carol's got Hickory Farm smoked cheddar, beef stick, and some sweet mustard. Hot sweet mustard in the fridge. Oh no. Man, there's sweet mustard.
Okay, here's a little bit of a. Now you can take this little tiny brush, kind of, and if you need to just kind of.
Fill in the blanks?
Fill in the blanks a little bit, or you need a little bit more detail. Something like this, where you're not kind of going to... Somebody was saying about the sock folder. This is those other brushes are a little big when something this small to do that, kind of make that little dot smaller. But it is kind of pretty. But there's no shadow under here. I mean, this vase is just sitting here.
Floating.
It's
a floating vase. What size brush were you just using? That little liner brush?
This is a little liner brush, and that's...
looks like a 2/0.
It's a 3/0.
Is it a 3 or are you going awfully fast?
3/0.
Really? Hold it there real.
Script liner. It's a script liner.
Looks like a 2/0 and I'm zoomed in, kiddo.
Well, John, it could look like anything. You're right, it is a 2/0. I lied.
I'm on the other side of the room and I can read it.
Well, Mrs. Magoo here just
Okay, maybe we shouldn't have had you paint 4 hours before class.
Mrs. Magoo here is not sure, but I see a little bit of red here. I'm having fun with the. There's a little bit of red coming out here on the top of this. There's a little bit of red here, and then there's a little red something coming here too.
Can you name all the red paints again that we used this evening?
Yeah, this is a wonderful color. This is called Matisse Scarlet Deep, and it's a number Series 7. If you really want to sock up to a red, that's it. That's the red. And then, of course, we're using your normal naphtha crimson, right? That's your primary red on your color wheel. That's color wheel. That's this. This is this red right here. That's your fire, red. Now, Cad Red Medium is an orange red, and you'll see me probably 90% of the time. That's the colors I use. And when we do our lessons on our website, I try very hard
I lost my connection again.
We lost the feed?
Oh no, the feed's fine. I can't my remote keeps dropping off on me as far as my left and right turning.
I got to put a couple of these dark ones here.
So earthquake may happen, people.
So anyway, well, now I just really don't know what I was telling you. It was obviously fabulously interesting. I don't remember.
Sure it was.
Something about, what was that? Wow, something about something. Well, no idea.
Earthquake.
So I'm going to put a shadow anyway. You guys, I'm sorry. It's just the part of me has to do it.
You have to ground it.
I have to do it. So, but we could put a little purple shadow. Let's do something a little bold. Let's take a little purple and some of this unbleached titanium and add it to the purple. And now we'll make a little shadow here. It doesn't have to be fabulously dark, but let's just put a little shadow down here. Don't you think so? And we'll put a little darker purple right close to the vase, like that. Okay, what do you think? You don't have to do it on yours. If you don't like it, you get to see mine. How's that? There you go. A little, just I think that's kind of nice. And then maybe there's a little shadow down here where these little things are just. And then if you want to make something look like it's falling, it's vertical. If you want to make it look like it already hit the dirt, then you make it horizontal, like that. See? Now suddenly, what happened? Now you've grounded your vase. I mean, just two little things like that make such a difference, don't they? Which I think is kind of cool. I mean, I like this. I think it's kind of neat, kind of like it. And then someone says, when could you use your Posca pens? if you went ahead and you were the last of the big spenders and you bought some.
Now, don't you want to make sure your painting's dry before you use your Posca paint?
Yeah, let's do our giveaway painting for a minute while we're letting this dry.
Oh,
okay?
for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes. We're going to start the timer. We're going to give a painting away tonight. Now, here's the deal. For those of you who are so sweet and hung in there with us for our giveaway painting, what we're going to do is John's going to invite you to go to our website and fill out a... Do you have the link on there for him, John?
Yes, I do.
He's going to have a link, and you fill out the link, and we're going to have a word for the night.
Watermelon.
The word for the night is watermelon. Okay. And then you're going to fill that out, and then we will do a drawing tonight for this, okay?
Live and in person.
Live and in person. I want to show a few auction pieces, but I want to get this in case the feed goes. So let's just start with this. John's going to start the timer.
All right, here's the link. This is the link for the contest for the drawing of the painting she is about to do. Wait, that's not the full length. Hold on a second. I'll get you started. Alexa, give me 10 minutes on a timer.
Okay, well then you're going to have to give them more time to
Oh, she didn't start yet. Alexa, 10-minute timer.
10 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. There's the link. Use that link to enter the contest. All you have to do is put in your first name, last name, email address. Phone is not required. The word you were told to put in is watermelon.
Okay.
If you do not want our newsletter, please select no, because it costs us money to have them.
So yeah, we're happy to send you a newsletter. We'd love to send you a newsletter, but if it's not something you want, goodness, that's fine. We don't mind.
We don't mind. We're unusual.
We don't mind, but that's fine. We're not
Can you
out
give that
there
link one more time?
selling names. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to do a live drawing on the show tonight. So this contest, you guys, is just for our of the people that are catching the live shows. And I know it's kind of unfair for people who are living halfway around the world and don't want to sit up till 2 in the morning to...
or 3 or 4. You know, sometimes when we get our act together, we'll do some weekend shows.
We'll do something like that for sure. We'll do
or some morning shows or something to get the rest of the world to be able to participate in some of these.
Well, we will, right? We absolutely will.
So she has 10 minutes to create this. Out of the top of her head, I can see she has nothing for a reference. And this is what can be created in 10 minutes after several years of being a professional acrylic painter. Artiste.
Artiste.
All right, what?
Artiste. Artiste.
Indeed. Watermelon is the word. Without watermelon, you're going to have to pull you out of there. Don't forget watermelon.
Okay.
1 entry per person, please.
Yeah, 1 entry per person.
No stuffing the ballot box.
So, absolutely, no stuffing the ballot box.
You know, that almost starting to look like a pineapple when you first started it.
Did it?
Uh-huh.
Well, it could have been a pineapple. If I'd had a reference for a pineapple, we could have maybe done a pineapple. Might have been an interesting thing to do.
The numbers are automatically generated by the system. I will have them. You don't need to worry about getting a number. The system has the number, and we'll have Alexa pick it. Alexa, how much time's left on the timer?
You have one timer, a 10-minute timer, with about 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, she's going to dry that off a little bit. We got about 7 minutes. Let's pop that link in there for you one more time. Right there's the link. And she's back.
I'm back.
You're winning the painting she is doing right now before your eyes, is what you're going for. If you do not want this painting, please don't enter. Don't worry about getting a number, folks. The numbers, There, it is on your receipt somewhere. I don't know where it is. Well, I can go probably look. I think I sent one to Sammy. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, it says right at the top there, your form, entry form, and has a number after that, big long number, a bunch of zeros and then a number.
Well, it does.
But again, don't worry about that. They're all tied together on our computer.
We figured out we thought we had a pretty good, clever way to do this, you know. That was our thought here, that just we would...
It's real simple to do for us, live and quick. And
yeah,
besides,
we thought that was a sort of a, you know, it was a good thing to, you know,
like
good
to
thing
use
to
our
play,
Alexa.
good thing to play with, right? And
Alexa
this
to
is,
participate.
anybody wants to know what colors I've got out now, I've got out some magenta. Okay, so we're going to just, we've got some magenta out here like this. So we're just going to,
John is officially haunted. Entered drawing, came back, and video once again is black and white. That's Goldie. How does she do that? Oh, Sammy enters it just to start with, so I know where the counter starts. He's a team player. Alexa, how much time's left on the timer?
You have one timer, a 10-minute timer, with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left.
4 minutes, 30 seconds there, boss.
oh, thanks. All right, we got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the timer. Good to know, right?
Good to know.
Good to know. It's always good to know these things, right? Well, paint dried out pretty quick.
Tammy's going to be heartbroken when my number isn't called out and get this pretty painting.
Is that what he said?
That's what Tammy says.
Okay. All right, but just put a little shadow under here for us.
Yeah, I like that.
Just something here, right? And where's that funny liner brush? That was a good one to play with, wasn't
Oh,
it?
that new one?
Yeah, where did I put that?
Did you put it in the can? It's right there in front of you. I can see it here.
No.
The coffee.
Right here?
No, the coffee cup.
Oh, did I? I don't remember. Well, there's
It's
one
that
there.
tall, skinny one.
I don't remember
It's the
it.
tallest one there.
No, not that one. That's not the one I was just using.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said you want to use the new one we just got. Yeah, I want that one. If you don't have magenta, what color can you do to make magenta?
Can't make it.
Can't make magenta.
Can't make it. It's one of those colors
It's a primary
you can do
family.
red and white, and you can get a pink, but you can't. Some colors are primary. Remember, primary colors. You know, you got to think about that. Primary colors are not that easy to make. You got to think about what you're dealing with when you're talking about primary colors. I think we're pretty close to being
Alexa,
done here. How are we
how
doing
much
on the
time
time?
on the timer?
You have one timer, a 10-minute timer, with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Well, as long as I've got the time, I'm still painting, you guys.
I'm going to
So why
say,
don't
you got the
just-
time.
Just gonna still paint here. Gonna put a couple little petals down here on the floor.
If you
Maybe
didn't get a email back with your entry, it may be in the spam folder, especially if you have an AOL or a Yahoo account. They go to spam. Hotmail, I think, does too. Gmail usually goes to the promotionals.
Okay. And I would say that that's pretty close to, pretty close to done here, you guys.
Alexa, how much... Alexa, how much time... Alexa, how much time on the timer? She's not listening to me.
Well, then she can join the crowd.
Oh! Alexa, how much... Alexa, I can replace you. Huh.
Did you unplug her?
No, I think she's temperamental. I can go to Echo. Echo can do the random number for us.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
I haven't asked you yet. I haven't. I have two of the devices, and I had to. One of them can be named Echo, and the other one's Alexa.
All right, you guys. There's our picture.
That's it. We're going to say the 10-minute timer is up. All entries are in. She's signing it. And let's go pull the... Oh, you want to show some stuff. So before I start pulling the data...
Yeah, and that'll give you time to organize. And I want to show some stuff while we're collating the winners.
Ooh, I love how you say that. Collating the winners.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, we won winner.
All right, so we've got a nice little arrangement of flowers. And these all look like Goodwill cards to me, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with the good.
We're in a Hallmark fashion right now.
Okay, so I want to just share while John's figuring out who the winners are. This was obviously
Alexa,
tonight's.
Off.
This was our painting for tonight. Okay, and if you guys want to remember who that was
Rodin?
Yeah, well, I don't know how you say it, but yeah, it was. And it just.
Well, don't ask me. Well,
it's Redon, Odilon Redon. He was French, okay? And this was one of his paintings done in, right around 1916. Well, he died in 1916, so this was around 1900 just when this was done. But anyway, I think this is kind of cool, and you saw a different way to create a background, a little bit different than we did last night. This is the painting we're going to be giving away in a second. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about our auction.
Let me turn the palette.
We have never in our auctions ever done any of the wave and water paintings, but this time we're going to be doing a wave. This is one of our wave and water paintings, which is one of my favorites at Golden Sunset, and on a gallery wrap canvas. This is one of the ones that will be in our auction. The other thing we've never had in an auction is one of our village pieces, and because I had two, this is the bakery. So if you've been painting the village and maybe you didn't get the bakery done, or you'd just like to give that as a gift, see the little cake in the window and all that stuff, this is the bakery, one of our little there's a bakery, only one we've ever done as an auction. We haven't done the whole set, just that, the bakery. Now this is crazy. John said somebody would like this. I didn't know who. But in any event, we've got the dragon's eye. Do you remember the video?
People like the dragon's eye.
Do you remember the video that we have on YouTube on how to paint this? Well, we have the dragon's eye. This is the original dragon's eye. If you guys want to, somebody would like to, bid on that. And then on some of the small ones, this has got to be. Let me just move this out of the way. This is one of my favorites. If you guys remember, this is a YouTube video. The cat eyes. Look at the glow on those eyes. So that's one of our auction favorites. And we have a series, we did a series of birds this time, but I got to show you this one. Check this out. This was, again, a lesson on how to just paint peppers. And I love that. This has been, this one, you can mount any of these little 6x8s just on foam core and frame them if somebody wants to know how to do it. But the 6x8s are good because we can, very inexpensive to mail these anywhere in the world, okay, 6x8 foam core.
Let me interrupt you for a second. We had a bribe come in. Yeah. Michelle made a donation, just became a member yesterday. Can't wait. Love you, Ginger and John.
Thank you, Michelle. Oh,
and the bribe may help.
Yes. Okay. So now here's our parrot. Don't you love this? I love this painting, and that's our parrot, and we've got that as one of our videos. Also, I think that's one of our member videos, and in our lesson videos that we did. And we've got this winter bird, which I love. This is very nice for the holidays. And if you guys remember, these are cardinals. So this was sort of our series of birds ones that we're doing. Here's our cardinals with the red berries. And again, these are all from lessons that we have, gingercooklive.gallery. Our mallard duck, maybe you know someone that's really into ducks. That might be fun. Night garden's one of my favorite ones. little 6x8 canvas. This is our favorite with all these glowing colors. Again, that's a lesson that we have on our website. Warhorse. Look at that. Check that out. Isn't that just great? I love that. So if you get a chance, we've got, and remember this, I have to tell you, this one right here is from France. This is one of our best YouTube lessons on how to paint foliage in the fall. This is one of our best lessons. This is the original from that. Really cool lesson. You know, another time I'll show you a few more. But we wanted, of the small ones, we have a bunch of small ones. And we have some really nice larger ones. This one here, this winter one, I'm going to just show you this because Monique Fries, you know, I showed this, this is a lesson we have on our website. Monique Fries painted that recently. We posted it at our club. She did such an excellent job. Again, this is one of the lessons we have at gingercooklive.gallery, but if you'd just like to own this painting, this is my original from an artist, one of the old dead guys, and actually.
So all these pieces she's showing are in the auction.
They're all in the auction, and there's more. I think we have like 40 pieces. Ought to be something you may like to have, or give yourself an early Christmas present, or as a gift for someone else. Well, again, we'll show you more as we go along, but I think that these are some of my favorites. So I hope you'll check out our auction. And again, we've got it where you can just do it in 3 payments if you want. And the little ones, really, honestly, they're like practically free. They start, these little ones here, the opening bid on these is $45. I mean, really inexpensive. And because we wanted to make it affordable for anyone. And these are all done on real canvas and the original lessons. So
all signed by Ginger and with
the certificate of authenticity.
There you go.
It comes with their certificate and the whole ball of wax. Okay, so John, here's our painting for tonight.
This is our painting for tonight. I have 200 entries.
We have 200 entries.
About
cool.
200 entries.
Cool. That's cool.
Alexa, are you feeling okay?
I'm excellent. I've got dinosaurs on my mind. If I was around back when they roamed the earth, I wonder what they would have asked me. Maybe, Alexa, what's that massive fireball sweeping across the sky?
I love her. All right, we're going to pick a random number. Oh, she is. Alexa, pick a number between 375 and 570.
Your random number between 375 and 570 is 427.
427 is the winning bid. 427. Number 400.
It's a free. They're getting this for free. There's no bidding here. This is the
well,
winner.
whatever. 427.
Yeah, for someone that's so keen on precise words here, let's just payback's heck, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
427 is Francis Vaughn. Francis, come on down. You have to be present to be eligible to win this marvelous painting. Let us know if you're there. Francis, are you present? Well, it's going to be 5 minutes before they hear that message from us.
Oh, there's a little bit of a little bit of delay. So, all right. So let's put. Also, the other thing we have for our auction is the proposal. We also thought somebody might like this one, and that's one of the paintings in our auction. We thought somebody might enjoy this. One of our YouTube favorites. All right. So here's tonight's picture. If anybody wants to see this again, and we're kind of remember acrylics dry darker. Okay, this is important to know. So if you're happily painting along, and then you look at it down and you're going, what happened? Where's my stuff? I mean, what happened to it? It doesn't look as bright. Give yourself another coat of red. It's okay. It's all right to give yourself another coat of red paint. It doesn't hurt a thing. And I see where I need to put a little bit of I think this one needed a little tiny center right here. This one needed a little center.
You already signed it. No go backs.
I'm going back.
I knew it.
I'm going back because I know I already signed it, but I felt like, and this one didn't look bright enough. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See how this one didn't look bright enough and this one? So I'm going to brighten that up a bit, okay? And he actually did it two-tone. So there you go. Just brighten those two up. They were just not bright enough. And if you just kind of look and make sure that you did get it. This one he kind of separated with a petal like that. Okay, there, something like that. All right, so that's our picture. I won't keep playing with it. You can see it yourself if you want to add something. Maybe I didn't put something you want to do. We really appreciate the fact that you guys are, hanging out there with us. Did Frances ever get back to us?
No, Frances, I think, might have signed off after she entered. I got her information because she just signed up, so I've got her.
Okay. All right. So, Frances, you are the winner, and thank you guys. I think this was fun. If you like this kind of show where we do a fast little 10-minute painting challenge and somebody gets to win it, just let us know if that's something you want to see.
Put that in the comments, please.
Put that in the comments. Now, next week we are not going to be here, but we will put up a video. We will have videos when we're out of town. We release the videos on Mondays and Tuesdays at around 7:38 in the morning. All right. So you want to look for our newest videos because we're taking the Thanksgiving period. John and I are going to Cuba. No kidding. We're going to Cuba. And one of the reasons that we want to do that is to get more painting stuff. We booked this trip almost a year ago to Cuba, and so it's coming up. We're going to Cuba, and we think that's going to be really exciting. We've got some beautiful, beautiful art available for our members and of course we will be available for art. We never go anywhere where we don't have internet, so our emails and our Facebook and our art critiques still go, and our personal art coaching still happens. You can get a hold of us if you have any kind of technical difficulties on the internet. John is always there for you guys. He checks his email all the time. We are practically glued to the internet by the hip or something. So I don't know.
We're wired in.
We're wired in. We are hot wired in, right, to the internet. So we're always there, and we appreciate you guys very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there she is, Frances. Just drop us go to contact us and send us your address, mailing address, so we know where to ship this off to once it's completed, dried and shellacked.
And we said we'd do this anywhere in the world because these are
anywhere
small.
In the world. We will not go off planet, though.
No, if you're from Mars, we're sorry. We're glad you were able to tune in.
Yes.
But we don't know how to get it to you.
We don't have that technology yet.
No
beaming up there yet.
And we're a little afraid if you do.
Hey, everyone, we can't thank you enough for attending. Please join us on our Facebook private club. The gals will probably pop that in there real quick if they hear this before it's on.
Acrylic Painting Club.
Ginger Cook Acrylic Painting Club.
It's free.
It's free to join, but it is a private club. Don't forget to go to our auction site, gingercookauctions.com. All these links can be found on gingercooklive.com or .gallery. And we'll keep you connected. Well, Ginger, with that, and Mr. Sammy.
Well, we'll say good night. Good night, John. Good night, Sammy.
Sammy's going to give you the...
Hey, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
It's great here. Great appreciation for everybody that's hanging in there with us. It was a fun night.
We had a great time, and we will see you next time live, and we'll let you know when that will be. Good night, everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.